Hey, yo, hey everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video review, and today we're going to be doing Green Lantern, Agent Orange. This is mine, not yours, mine. Mine. However, I will let you look at the comic cover. So, Agent Orange. Agent Orange is the last story arc before we start to get into Final Crisis, and it sums up a lot of the stuff that has been happening in recent Green Lantern stories. In particular, Rage of the Red Lantern. So in reviewing this, I'm going to assume that you already read Rage of the Red Lantern, because I'm going to be dropping a lot of spoilers in this that pertains to that story. So if you have not read Rage of the Red Lantern, I recommend you read that before watching this. I don't want to ruin your reading. I don't want to ruin the enjoyment that you get out of it. So it's really up to you, because I have no control over you watching this review. So with that said, let's get into Agent Orange. Now, Agent Orange is a story that I can sum up pretty quickly, and I'm going to sum it up pretty quickly. However, there is a lot to the story. I'm just not going to give all the details because, well, I don't want to give everything away. Now, see, a long time ago, many years ago, there was a rule erected that no Green Lantern, and really no one, can enter the Vega system. Now, the Vega system is off limits because the Guardians have a deep, dark secret that they have in this system. And that would be basically the Orange Lantern. Now, the Orange Lantern causes whoever has it to be consumed by greed and never be satisfied. They always want more and more and more. Now, the Guardians made a deal with the holder of the Orange Lantern that he would stay in the Vega system and that the Guardians won't have anyone bother him at all. This is a way of just keeping a check on the Orange Lantern powers so that it doesn't get out of control. However, certain events happen that causes the Orange Lantern wielder to get pissed off at the Guardians, and basically their deal is now off. Now, at the same time, Hal Jordan still has the blue and Green Lantern rings on, and he is trying the best he can to get that Blue Lantern ring off. Now, the Guardians find out about this, and they try to analyze the Blue Lantern ring, and they try to figure out, what his powers, and how it's connected to Hal Jordan, and what's his meaning, and Hal just basically says, I don't even want this thing on me. You guys can have it if you can take it off. But they can't. And at that time, they have to go into the Vega system, because the trouble is starting to brew there. So in the Vega system, the Green Lantern Corps have to deal with the Orange Lantern Corps, which actually only consists of one person. See, the Orange Lantern powers is interesting. It's based off greed, and you're never satisfied with what power you have. You always want more and more. But when an Orange Lantern construct kills someone, it actually steals their identity. It makes that identity a construct and part of the Orange Lantern Corps. What also is interesting about the Orange Lantern is that its power actually grows more and more. Quite possibly alone the most powerful Lantern power, because it just consistently gets more powerful and powerful. It took Hal Jordan to have the Blue Lantern and Green Lantern ring to go up against the Orange Lantern, because essentially he has the power of a whole entire corps in him. So with that said, I'm not going to reveal too much more of the story because I really want you to read it on your own. On to the good, the bad, and whether or not you should get this. Well, I really like how things were handled with Hal Jordan, the Blue Lantern ring, and the Green Lantern ring. I like how it came off his finger, and yes, eventually it comes off. I'm not spoiling anything with you there. Eventually the ring does come off. However, it's funny how it does come off. In addition to that, I thought the Orange Lantern course was pretty cool. I liked their power. I like how they're never satisfied. I liked everything about them. And again, them existing adds to the Guardians' deep, dark secrets that they have, and the more internal corruption that I believe is happening with the Guardians. I thought the story flowed very nicely. I liked this a lot more than I did Rage of the Red Lantern. And I think with the constraints that Geoff Johns had, he wrapped up everything he wanted to before Black Knight the best he could. So that brings me on to the bad. One bad is that this is the last story before Blackest Night, and there's nothing against this story at all. There's a few members of the color spectrum that wasn't dealt with. the Indigo Tribe wasn't even talked about. I think they're first showing up in the Blackest Night, to my recollection. Really showing up. So I felt as though, it would have been nice if we had 1 or 2 more story arcs before Blackest Night. Another thing is on a whole, it's a short story and it flows very nicely, but I felt as though they could have added a little bit more to this. And I would have liked there to be more than just one member of the Orange Lantern Corps. Now, in saying that, that doesn't mean I don't like how the Orange Lantern Corps steals people's identities. I think that's a really cool a little twist on things, but I would have liked it to be more than just one member. Besides those few little gripes, Agent Orange was a very enjoyable read. I read it before I went into class a few days ago, and I absolutely loved this story. I thought it was very good. I thought it was handled very nicely. The art was beautiful, and it built off what Rage of the Red Lantern had, and kind of together those stories are just really good. I like this story a lot, and I highly recommend it to people who have been reading Green Lantern, people that want to read Blackest Night, or just in general, read this book. The only thing is you need to read Rage of the Red Lanterns beforehand, because this is essentially a continuation of that story. So with that said, I'm going to end this review here. Green Lantern, Agent Orange, pick it up. You will enjoy it. This is Andrew saying peace out for now.